San Jose, St. Louis, 9:10 here on the rotation. Next game, St. Louis minus. Well, we got no line here. I'm seeing minus 165 here. St. Louis, that can't be right. But yeah, no line, no total here on this game. Sports options acting wonky. That's all that is. Right now, 9:10 on the rotation. San Jose, St. Louis, no line here. We've got San Jose playing last night in Chicago. They were able to pull one out of the fire against the Blackhawks, although obviously with Vegas winning last night makes the uh, opportunity to track down the Golden Knights a little bit harder for first place in that Pacific Division after the Golden Knights got 2 big points last night and also clinched a playoff spot. Congratulations, by the way, to the Vegas Golden Knights, officially in the postseason after last night's win against the Colorado Avalanche. Just a remarkable season there. But San Jose still just 6 points behind. They kept pace. They can still have an outside puncher's chance at overtaking them, but they've almost got to win out. Hope Vegas does a complete flop down the stretch. It's still very highly, highly, highly unlikely that they win the Pacific Division. But until if they still have the belief, obviously it's a situation where they're going to still think they have a chance to maybe win this division and have that effort. But, St. Louis is in the fight of their lives right now to make the playoffs, battling with LA, which took care of business against the lowly Flames last night. So that puts onus on St. Louis to respond. When the other team that you're battling with for a playoff spot wins the night before, you got to respond in kind the very next game. So that's the task at hand here for the St. Louis Blues, who have been playing better hockey for the last week or so as they try to get themselves into the playoffs. And so it's going to be an interesting game here. You got San Jose still with an outside shot at the Pacific. St. Louis battling for their lives in the playoffs here. Very interesting game. Should be a good one tonight. Sharks and Blues. Nothing yet for me. I got to see a line before I even go anywhere with a lean or an opinion on this game. Andrew does have one. Blues and Sharks. Andrew, what do you got in this game?
Yeah, Ian, I just fired you off a message there. For what I'm seeing right now, it's the Blues minus 133, and we can get the Sharks right now plus 120. And for me personally, these two teams are both on pretty massive, pretty decent streaks right now. The Blues are 5-0 in the last 5 overall. Sharks 8-0 in the last 8 overall. The Sharks coming off that back-to-back, and I think last night's victory was actually a big win for San Jose. And again, not like it was a big win because of who they played. I mean, Chicago is no team to get too excited about, but just the way that they're winning games, the way this team is looking to me, it just seems like a very well-sound team all of a sudden. And people have been asking who made the most impact during the trade deadline or the trade center. Was it Paul Stastny? Was it Ryan McDonough? Was it Evander Kane? I think 100% right now, you can tell me, and I'd probably give my vote to you, would be for Evander Kane. I think that he's dropping the mitts. He's winning battles. He's scoring goals. He's helping his teammates look better. I mean, he's doing that. He's really come into this team, and he looks like he wants to be there. He is ready to play. He seems pretty excited to be there, and he's making his teammates around him better. Right now, he's on the first line with Joe Pavelski and Timo Meier. And I got to say, like I mention this all the time, past couple years when I was doing media for the Halifax Mooseheads, got to watch Timo Meier kind of develop as a junior hockey player. Now seeing him on this first line, he's surrounded by 2 excellent players in Kane and Pavelski. And I just don't think personally that this streak ends tonight for this Sharks team. I don't think this back-to-back is going to be a negative thing for them whatsoever. Guys, I personally think that right now they're kind of just on a train that's just proving how they can win every single type of challenge, every single kind of hockey game. I think coming into this back-to-back spot right now against this Blues team, which in my opinion, on the rare occasion they can be, but they just don't have enough to score in large sums. I mean, they're not as exciting of a team. And, I've been really giving the Sharks a lot more credit for that these days. And I think they've kind of become that fast-paced game, that fast-tempo kind of style team, which is why I'm looking at this plus money at 120 for the Sharks right now. I mean, they're on this massive win streak. They're playing pretty sharp right now. The only thing is we may not get Jones. We're probably going to see Dell in nets. But he hasn't really had too bad of a season. So for me, looking at a backup coming in right now against this Blues team, personally, if you look at the way the Blues have played in their last couple of games here, I'm not really too impressed. I mean, this Blues team is kind of bipolar in my mind. I mean, one game they show me they can beat. It is Vancouver, but they show me they have Vancouver 4-1. So they show me look, they can finally score some goals. look back against Chicago on the 18th. They had 5 goals. They won 5-4 against Chicago. But then Columbus, they come into town against Columbus. They only win 2-1. So I understand you can have these low scoring, high scoring lulls, but essentially, I think this St. Louis team does not really match up and compare this Sharks team. Back to back or not, guys, looking at the plus money, plus 120 with the Sharks money line, official play.
All right, San Jose money line, and that play is a good reminder. Don't bet must win all the time just because you think they got to win the game. Must win does not equal will win. I'll repeat that over and over again. It's a huge game for St. Louis for sure. They're 1 point out of a playoff spot now. See how one night in hockey at this stage of season can change things? They were in a playoff spot before last night. Now they're out of one, St. Louis. LA and Colorado have those 2 wild card spots right now. So it is going to be a great race with those. You can even throw Anaheim. Anaheim's not even out of the hot water yet. Anaheim, LA, Colorado, and St. Louis for 2 spots here in the Western Conference here, or 3 spots. So someone's not going to get left out of the mix here when it's all said and done. St. Louis, obviously, onus is on them to respond after LA won last night. They've won 5 in a row. They have played better. St. Louis, very good defensively of late. 1 goal allowed in each of their last 3 wins. Couple nice wins against Boston and Columbus in there. San Jose on a back-to-back. All of that in St. Louis's favor, but you're not going to see me betting against a team on an 8-game winning streak, even on a back-to-back. So that's the problem. And San Jose has been playing some excellent hockey the last couple of weeks, but should be a good game there, Sharks and Blues. Alex, you're also involved, Sharks and Blues. What do you got?
Yeah, this is going to be a highly entertaining game. I think this right along with the Bruins Jets game will probably be one of the best to watch tonight. But like I said, you got 2 teams that are rolling really hot right now. Obviously, San Jose's been absolutely on fire, and they got caught napping a little bit in the end of that first period against the Hawks, and then of course late in the third, the Hawks tied up, sent it overtime. They end up Sharks end up winning in a shootout 4-3. So they keep their win streak rolling. Like I said, still keeping points and a pace with Vegas 6 points behind, but that's looking a little slim now. Even though they're still within 6 points like they were yesterday. Yesterday I was saying, oh well, Sharks could make a run still, but Vegas now clinching a playoff spot. Would be interesting to see how they respond in their next game. If they just kind of sit back a little bit. But you got St. Louis, like I said, fighting for their playoff lives, and their team that won 5 in a row, 7 of their last 8, and Andrew made a good point about if Aaron Dell's in that. Looking at Aaron Dell's last 4 starts, I mean, he did pick up a win against a horrible Vancouver team, but then he got blown out against Nashville. He had a loss against Carolina. He hasn't been as sharp as he was when we saw him in between the pipes, picking up some big wins around the beginning of the calendar year and before the holiday break. So if it is Dell in net, the way that San Jose, yes, they're still rolling on this road trip, but St. Louis needs this game a lot more. I think that this might be a time where the Blues could actually end that streak tonight.
All right. Well, they ended Columbus's streak. Remember the other on the weekend, Columbus's streak. Who snapped it? The Blues did. They'll be looking to maybe snap another team's massive winning streak tonight. That being San Jose. So Alex kind of liking St. Louis here tonight as they take on the Sharks.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.